And the fact that they actually decided to do psychological experiments on their users is something that I think a lot of people need to really fully understand. And they were doing
psychological experiments, nigga. We literal lab rats, nigga. Literally, nigga. Fuck.
Based upon the fact that different things that people posted, they wanted to see how other people would react to it.
On a Health Watch, what your Facebook friends post can have a direct effect on your mood. New research shows the more negative posts you see, the more negative you could become.
So what are you feeding your mind, man? What are you feeding your mind?
Welcome back. We are following breaking news. A verdict in the landmark case addressing the power and influence of social media. A Los Angeles jury today finding Meta and YouTube negligent in the design or operation of their platforms and saying the companies failed to warn users of the dangers of their services. The jurors found
they're going to keep using that word, negligence. All right, remember that.
The tech giant's platforms harmed a young user with features that made her addicted and led to mental health problems. The trial, which included testimony from Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg, was the first lawsuit of its kind to go to trial. In separate statements, Meta and Google, YouTube's parent company, saying they disagree with today's verdict and plan to appeal. Today's verdict comes just one day after a jury in New Mexico ordered Meta to pay $375 million after determining that Meta concealed what it knew about child sexual exploitation on its platform. Meta says it plans to appeal that verdict as well. Joining me now is Jacob Ward, veteran technology journalist and host of the Rip Current podcast.
What's done in the dark shall come to light, nigga. Always.
He's also the author of The Loop, How Technology is Creating a World Without Choice and How to Fight Back. Jacob, thanks so much for joining me. So let's talk about today's big verdict. What was your big takeaway?
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
Listen, this is really, I mean, for me, it is I get goosebumps as I say it. It is truly a historic moment. I really think that this is on a par with figuring out that cigarettes cause cancer or that we need to have seatbelts in cars. This is a huge societal shift that we're seeing unfolding in front of us really in real time. And as a result, you know, I think this is the end of social media as we know it. And it is definitely the end of childhood as we have come to accept.
Nigga, we're the age of Aquarius. Nigga, all this shit gonna be coming to light. Nigga, everything. Nigga, you got the motherfucking Epstein files, nigga. You got social media now getting exposed and sued, nigga. Come on now, what else is not going to get exposed, nigga? The Diddy shit, all the celebrity shit, nigga. You got streamers more famous than celebrities, nigga. You hear me? You got streamers more famous than celebrities, bro. Hold on, wait a second.
We are seeing for the very first time a social media company found liable, in this case two of them, found liable for the design choices they made and for, as a result, addicting kids in a harmful way to their product. This is something that was unimaginable even a few years ago because these companies have enjoyed such powerful legal protections until now. Now this new legal theory opens up an entirely new can of worms, one that consists of more than 1,600 cases that are now going to come down on one or more of these companies, Kristen.
Wow. Well, it's really striking to hear you describe it in that context, Jacob. So paint a picture for me. You say this is the end of social media as we know it. What does that look like in our society?
Well, until now, right, we've treated our attention and, by extension, our behavior as, first of all, something that you and I are supposed to be entirely in control of ourselves, right? We've been sort of the opinion that somehow the choices you and I make are totally our own and can't really be shaped by anybody. But then, of course,
What? It's right there. What did you do? Put this walking. You already interrupted my video.
Oh, sorry. I thought it was on that.
Get out. Was you about to move the car?
No, I want to get something out of it.
Okay.
Our attention and, by extension, our behavior as, first of all, something that you and I are supposed to be entirely in control of ourselves, right? We've been...
Look, we got to listen to the words they use carefully, y'all. We're supposed to be in control of our behavior ourselves, okay?
Of the opinion that somehow the choices you and I make are totally our own and can't really be shaped by anybody. But then, of course, what we saw was the rise of an industry that has made its business analyzing and shaping behavior at scale wherever possible. And this is not to say that they had nefarious ideas in mind.
Shaping behavior. Now, we're going to look at the Creepy Line documentary. We're going to look at it for...
Cars were driving by.
It's a great tool for, say, tourists or homesick transplants, but privacy advocate Kevin Bankston says Google is being too invasive.
There are a lot of people on the web who are, I think, freaked out by this. They find it kind of icky and uncomfortable.
And so absent the fact that it got caught and they were fined and that they tried to cover up some of the things that they were doing and the media got wind of it, nothing would have happened to them.
The new Google Home Mini has a massive problem, and it isn't even out yet. It was released to reporters for free last week to test it out. One journalist discovered his device recorded everything in earshot and uploaded it.
You know that.
More and more people are beginning to use these smart devices in their homes. There's two things to...
Nigga, I got an Alexa in my shit. Nigga, I know that bitch be listening. Every time I have a conversation, nigga, she... Hello? What did you say? Da, 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 da. Basically, nigga. Saying some shit, nigga. I only use the bitch for the alarm, but I know that bitch listening, boy. And I know they monitoring shit, boy. Like, nigga, we live in a world where, nigga, it's a group of motherfuckers that want you addicted to wasting time. Your time is your greatest asset, y'all. Your time is your fucking greatest asset, y'all.
That I think people need to be aware of the fact is that it's always on and always listening. So it's collecting an enormous amount of data on their users. The other thing is the fact that it is only giving you one answer back.
Okay, Google. How tall is a T-Rex?
Here's a summary from the website animals.nationalgeographic.com. Fossil evidence shows that Tyrannosaurus was about 40 feet long.
I think it's something we should be aware of what's happening with the bias that's being introduced, because more and more people are starting to use these units, and certainly children are using them. And kids don't have the ability to discern that it's a biased result.
According to a new report by the Electronic Frontier Foundation, schools are collecting and storing kids' names, birth dates, browsing histories, location data, and much more without proper privacy protections.
At all, yo. At all. And mind you, motherfuckers be thinking Google is true. Excuse me, Facebook and Google is the realest shit on the planet. Nigga, who the fuck made that shit? Just because you look some shit up, that don't mean it's true. Who the fuck creates the algorithm? You see what I'm saying? Come on now.
Just had discovered that our attention is an incredibly profitable product to traffic in. And so in this case, we're just looking at now a jury that, even a few years ago might not have been able to wrap their minds around the idea that we can have this kind of harm by the design of a platform. That was such an abstract concept. As someone who tries to articulate that concept as often as I do, I've spent years trying to get people to understand even the idea that there are armies of experts inside these companies working on that kind of idea. And now suddenly you have a jury of our peers suddenly understanding that, it seems, and as a result, finding these two companies liable. So this could absolutely rewrite the rules. Now, will that be a rewriting of the rules that everyone will be happy with? I don't think so, right? We have enormous First Amendment issues that are going to come up with this. And you know that Meta and YouTube are going to fight tooth and nail because this is an existential threat to the way they do business. So this is not over by any stretch, but I think that the era of treating our behavior as an infinite product to mine, that era is over, I think.
It's just really powerful to hear you talk about it in those terms. You talk about the profits. Let's talk about the profits of these companies. Meta is worth more than $1 trillion. YouTube is worth more than $500 billion. Its parent company, Alphabet Inc., is worth more than $3 trillion. Could these companies just absorb the cost and keep doing business, find a way to keep doing business as usual?
I mean, when we look, Kristen, at the individual judgments here, right, you're looking at a $375 million judgment in New Mexico, and that's a slightly different issue. It is a different issue than the one that was settled in LA, but both of them sort of surround the idea that there is harm being done and a responsibility on the part of the companies. In both of those cases, right, you're looking at numbers that really are a rounding error in the balance sheets of these companies, of course, right? The $3 million judgment for this one plaintiff in LA, no way. But you look at the 350 other family cases coming down the pipeline. You look at the 200, those alone, if you use this math, $3 million per plaintiff, that ends up being in the billions, right? Or at least over $1 billion. If you look at the math of the school districts, 250 of which are lined up to file suit, and you think about thousands of students per school district, you're suddenly getting to some very large numbers. And so whether these companies can afford this in a dollars and cents way, I think we'll figure that out. Time will tell. But the incentive, which they did not face before now, is to change the way they do business because there is suddenly liability. In the United States, Kristen, we don't make a lot of changes to how companies do business, or companies don't make a change unless there's financial harm. This was an industry so enormous that we couldn't have imagined doing enough financial harm to make it possible for them to even consider changing.
Nigga, keep hitting their pockets. Nigga, hit them with a hurt. Nigga. We got more of just
a bunch of us used to sit around every day and we used to remove stories from the newsfeed that were too conservative. And now and then we'd inject a story that we just thought was really cool.
Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg says he's committed to giving everyone a voice. He's responding to an allegation that Facebook edits conservative views out of its trending topics.
Oh, wow. Nigga, that's so surprising. Nigga, they and this is the shit I be saying about content. Like, even One Young Pharaoh, Rashad Jamal. Listen, nigga, they censor shit, nigga. They censor. Yes, the fuck they censor shit, nigga. They constantly censor shit, nigga. Constantly, nigga.
Press certain types of results based on what they think you should be seeing, based on what your followers are presenting.
Now a new report claims that according to a former Facebook employee, the social media mega company sometimes ignores what is actually trending among its billion users if the story originated from a conservative news source or if it's a topic causing buzz among conservatives.
Facebook constantly manipulates their users. They do it by the things that they insert into the news feeds. They do it by the types of posts they allow their users to see. And the fact that they actually decided to do psychological experiments on their users is something that I think a lot of people need to really fully understand. And they were doing
psychological experiments, nigga. We literal lab rats, nigga. Literally, nigga. Fuck.
Based upon the fact that different things that people posted, they wanted to see how other people would react to it.
On Health Watch, what your Facebook friends post can have a direct effect on your mood. New research shows the more negative posts you see, the more negative you could become.
So what are you feeding your mind, man? What are you feeding your mind?
Now those incentives are shifting in a way that we haven't seen, I would say, since the era of big tobacco, since the era of lead paint, right? These are enormous kinds of judgments that have to come through for a company to consider changing how they do business. And so I just think that we're probably, even though we're going to see endless appeal, this is not binding and settled in court, I think that it is for the first time operating at a scale that really touches these companies in a very new way.
Look, before I let you go, I do have to shift gears. I want to show you this sort of extraordinary scene at the White House today. An AI-powered robot escorted First Lady Melania Trump into a summit on technology and education and opened the summit, Jacob, by actually speaking. It's kind of out of a movie. What were your thoughts when you saw this? What do we take from this moment? What are the implications?
I cannot believe that I'm speaking to you on the same day that a jury of 12 people, decided we needed to protect kids in this whole new way, established this entirely new idea of harm. And at the same time, you've got this imagery going on. I mean, we have the reason we're seeing these court cases move forward is because at the federal level, no one's been willing to make the kinds of laws that democracy has clearly been clamoring for. When I spoke to the attorney general in the New Mexico case, he said, I don't want to have to do this court case by court case, but because we're not getting federal action, we have to. And when you see, I honestly don't know, Kristen, but I assume that's Elon Musk's robot, right? When you see the pro-tech cabal that is in the White House now and the ways in which they are trying to just open the floodgates for that industry, and you compare that to how the first, this jury of our peers has enacted the first real sort of democratic input into what every
nigga, long story short, nigga, we gotta take this shit over. We gotta do something. We gotta make the system crumble, nigga. The system is already crumbling. It's exposing itself. But, nigga, this shit need to crumble by us taking action, nigga. By us saying fuck they jobs, nigga. By us saying fuck they shit. We gonna get our own shit. You know what I'm saying? By us saying we gonna create our own shit, nigga. And there's one step to say, a social media influencer, but, nigga, we still on they apps. So if this shit crumble, nigga, I'm still on they app, nigga. We gotta create our own websites, nigga. See what I'm saying? It's not gonna be easy, but it's getting to that point. It's getting to that point, y'all. And I love y'all. Without much being said, we gotta take this motherfucker over. Because this motherfucker was ours to begin with. Protect your mind. Because your mind is your greatest asset. And the same thing that they want to take from you is your mind. You gotta protect it with all of your heart. What defenses do you have up for your mind, nigga? What defenses do you allow yourself to have for your mind? How do you feed your mind? What do you feed your mind? Why do you like the shit that you like? Or you beat it for toxicity through your algorithm? Or you beat it to be extremely lustful through your algorithm? Or you beat it to not think through your algorithm? Or you breed it to joke all the time through your algorithm? Or you beat it to be a Christian through your algorithm? Or you beat it to have low self-esteem through your algorithm? Because as we could see in this shit,
experiments on the posts they allow their users to see. And the fact that they actually decided to do psychological experiments on their users is something that I think a lot of people need to really fully understand. And they were doing it based upon the fact that different things that people posted, they wanted to see how other people would react to it.
Psychological experiments they doing on us, nigga. Literal lab rats, nigga. Fuck they shits, nigga. Fuck social media, nigga. Live a real life, nigga. Don't let none of that shit impact you, nigga. And I love y'all, bro.